if you can buy a bag, $1,000 face value, and it'll have approximately 700 ounces of pure silver in it, and the rest will be copper. Okay, or, well, not or, but silver dollars have 90% silver in them, and the other coins, halves, quarters, and dimes, have about 77% silver, and about 70% silver. Now, I didn't know that. I thought that was a little strange. Why did they just go 90% across the board? That's what they did. All right, the next thing that you need to look at, obviously, is your housing. You want to make sure that you're safe, and especially with the spate of tornadoes that we've had, it's been sort of interesting. I think we had the 8th busiest year or something on record. Anyway, there's a couple of recommendations that we've got. Now, you can do as much as you want. You can stay in your current home, which is probably what most of us will do. Now, there are ways that you can make this home more secure. It depends on the threat that you're looking at. Are you looking at this 3-month period in Argentina, like I was talking about, where there may be, and like there were in Russia, these were good people. They were starving, but the men went out. They had to get food from somewhere, and so they got it from their neighbors. It's the second time in the century that Russia was put in that position. The first time was when the communists took over, and they assigned office workers the jobs of being in the communes out there, tilling the fields and running the cattle. They didn't know anything about that. Millions of people starved to death. Anyway, so if you want to stay in your home, you want to protect it, but you don't want it to look like a fortress. There's a hurricane sheeting. It's a Lexan that you can put on some of the windows that you really don't use around back, or that face the water or something like that. Things that you may find hard to protect. This type of Lexan, it's corrugated, big corrugations. And you can actually throw a concrete block at it, like on their video. They show a concrete block going in, bouncing off. So it'll keep things from coming in that window. The other way to go is if you've got another piece of land somewhere or something, you want to build something really secure, say fallout shelter or a root cellar, or you name it. All right, www.monolithic.com. Now, these people build R60 homes, okay? And what they are is, you design the home that you want. They build you about a 25 mil skin of polyurethane plastic. They inflate it. They spray it with 3 or 4 inches of urethane insulation. Put the rebar up there. Spray the concrete up there, about 3 or 4 inches thick, and you've got an R60. It's a very stable, thermally stable situation. Tornadoes go right over it, fires go right over it, things like that. And according to the owner of Monolithic, a 30-06 will just make a few pieces of concrete come out on the inside when you shoot it with him. I thought that was kind of cute because he was promoting something else. All right, and then what else? Say you want to have a little extra electricity. You don't want to pay the high prices that our president has promised. TLG, he promised us. He did, didn't he? TLG Wind Power, www.tlgwindpower.com. Now, these are superior wind turbines, and you can look it up online and all this kind of stuff. These are not those little dinky things. I love boats. I've been on boats all my life. But these are not these little dinky things that you find on boats. No. Those things will probably keep one battery charged in a decent wind. Okay. This thing, they've got 2 different models, and they will, one of them is direct to the grid, and the other one is direct to a battery bank, and then you have an inverter, and it powers your essentials, your fan, your fridge, your lights, things like that, and OLED, your freezer. So the next thing if you want to go that direction, in Florida, and you know this to me is odd, but in Florida we don't have very much wind. I know it's strange to say, but we don't. My brother lives in Texas, and buddy, they've got the wind. I mean, 30, 40 miles an hour is not uncommon to walk outside. So the wind power is perfect for Texas. Here, we probably need a combination of wind and solar panels. Do you go out and buy solar panels? Well, you can if you just want to throw away $700 a panel. Or if you're a little bit handy, I do mean just a little bit, you can make your own. Now, www.shopdiyenergy.com. Anyway, it's in these handouts. Shows you how to make an aluminum solar panel for yourself. And they should show you where to buy the parts, the solar panels themselves. If they don't, then contact me. I'll put you in touch with all that stuff. You buy the parts and the silver soldered, and it's very easy. It's just like connecting a battery in series, only these are not batteries. Anyway, they're real cute. So the next section, is your food. What are you going to do about food? Well, some people, and these, I don't like to deal in rumors, but there are some rumors on the internet that the government is gearing up for food riots across the world. Well, maybe if there's hyperinflation, there'll be food riots. I don't know. But regardless, in World War II, we had victory gardens. I think it's a good idea for everybody to at least try to raise something, get accustomed to raising something. So, what do? Well, for right now, you can go to Lowe's, buy their seeds, buy, whatever kind of seeds you want, regular, hybrid, organic, things like that. Just keep in mind that some of the super hybrids, if you harvest and save the seeds and plant again, save the seeds, plant again, after a while, they start to revert back to the original plant, which is really not what you want. So, it's probably a better idea long term, and certainly a good safety feature, to buy something like this. This is a package of heirloom seeds. It has all kinds of stuff in there. There's 60 different kinds of seeds. You can buy it for the northern tier of the United States, the southern tier, and it's $99. But I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in here. I mean, everything that you need. So it's enough to plant about an acre. I think that's it. Anyway, so that's a good idea. They're all individually packaged, nitrogen sealed, and this top you can pull off, but they say if you keep it cool, it'll last for about 20 years. So that's your emergency seeds. And the whole idea here is not only prepare for ourselves, but if the bad times really come, the people that are going to survive are going to be the people that love and care about others, because others are going to love and care about them. And so it may be that each of us, in all our different areas of the community, would be helping our neighbors out. I've got neighbors now that they're just 9 to 5, wouldn't be worried, everything's fine. They know what's happening. I just got out of work. I asked the guy, I says, why do you want to sell them annuities? You know what's going to happen. He goes, yeah, hyperinflation. But he is hoping against hope that this is not going to happen. Well, I hope so too. Okay, so that's one place. This is www.heirloom, loomsolutions.com. Or you can get another different kind of seed package, www.rareseeds.com. And if you want to raise tomatoes and peppers and different vegetables in the wintertime, we don't have much of a winter here. This year we have more winter. But Lowe's, right now, just incidentally enough, has a 7-foot high by 6 foot wide by 8 foot long, what they call a spring gardener greenhouse. No, don't work for Lowe's. It's where I spend a lot of money. Anyway, I just noticed it there. It's $249. It's a very easy to assemble greenhouse. I'm talking easy. And it's got a durable covering on it. It's something like that. It'd be a great way to get into gardening. Okay. Now the more controversial parts of everything. I say controversial because it doesn't matter whether you're a Hindu, a Christian, what. Sometimes you have to take care of your family, your friends, and you have to be prepared and you have to be ready for things. And in my opinion, you should always have a loving heart toward everyone, but not a foolish heart. Watch, be aware, get out of the car, when you look around, see what you're getting out of it. Just be aware. You can avoid 99% of the trouble that way. On the other hand, sometimes trouble finds you, and there's a lot of ways to deal with it. It depends on where it is. Sometimes you don't have the option of getting in your car and running away. Sometimes you have to have a gun. And that's certainly one option. There's not much use in having a gun if you just go out and, well, I think I'll go out and buy a gun and now everything is fine. Everything's not fine. At this point, I would have to agree with some of the liberal commentators that say you're less safe if you just go out and buy a gun with no training. Because your kid can get a hold of it, you don't know how to use it. There was an awful video that I saw not too long ago. I didn't watch much of it, just enough. This jewelry store owner, this was a what not to do video, okay? This jewelry store owner, he had a gun, he knew how to use it, but he didn't do the right things. So here's his unloaded gun and his clip, and the robber is like this, pointing at it. And so he looks, gets his gun out, puts his clip in. As he's racking the action, fixing to take care of the problem, well, he just took 3. And that was it for him. So if you have it, my suggestion is get training. I have a place here that you can get training. Now, I've been to this place. It's www.frontsight.com. It's world-class training. It's for people from, I've seen 11-year-old girls there, 13-year-old girls there, and my training partner was a 90-year-old man. And he was big and overweight and stuff like that, and he had a bad knee, and I was like, are you okay? And he said, yeah, it's just this darn knee, you know. But he would get up and we would have to sit down, listen to a few things. Let's how you do this and this and this. And then we go and practice, and they would show you how to clear jams if you have an automatic pistol. That's important. There are 3 or 4 different problems you might have with an automatic pistol. And if you don't know how to clear them, you're in a world of hurt. Anyway, these are good people. There's no boot camp mentality. They're good people. They're ex-police and ex-military. They care about people. They're not a killing maniac, in other words. I really like them. All right. The next thing is this is where these things come from. www.ki4u, potassium iodide 4u, ki4u.com. It's a radiation equipment testing company, the only radiation equipment testing company that's private in the United States. They're a great source of information. These days, all you hear from the last, from Chertoff, the last Homeland Security chief, oh, well, millions of people will die if we ever have a nuclear incident. That doesn't have to happen. It's not an automatic death sentence. You can survive it, but heck, you don't want to survive it being, sick and unprepared, things like this. So what these people do is they sell these things. Now these are non-working models. Anyway, they used to be working, but they've got a part or two that needs to be replaced and stuff like that. But you have here a less sensitive Geiger counter, if you will. And then here is a more sensitive one. The cool thing about this is you pull this out and you stick it out the window and you can turn it on and you can see if there's radioactive dust falling down, and that's what you really want to avoid. Because if you see the flash, you're pretty much toast, But if you don't see the flash, and it's an event like those poor folks in Japan had, and you're getting radioactive dust that's filtering down, you don't want to inhale it, you darn sure don't want to be out in it. But the good thing is that 90%, wait a minute,